Train to Busan was released in 2016 under Horror and Action. It was produced by Young San-ho and was shot in Seoul, Yeongnam, and Daejeon, South Korea. The film depicts a rare disease entering the country which turns people into zombie-like characters, forcing them to kill one another. With that being said, an epidemic or pandemic is one of the largest fears of the citizens of any given country. This film consistently represents social issues that are currently present in South Korea. In my media essay, I will examine the social commentary and messages behind the cinematic devices throughout the film. It would be easy to recognize the film as a great zombie horror film. However, it serves as a social commentary to South Korea, covering topics such as the workplace, children, and greed. South Korea is a place where research remains active because there are so many unknown aspects of the country to specific audiences, such as the United States of America. So the film serves as a way to present social issues that the citizens of South Korea face. However, South Korean culture is becoming more relevant and popular over the last few years due to K-pop and other materials that we have covered in class. The closing scene soundtrack is very symbolic to the film. The song is called Goodbye World by Jang Young-gayu. Although this is his family he is giving his life up for, it is contradicting for the rest of the film where everyone is only looking after themselves and not helping one another. This starts with the government, and South Korea's society is considered to be a place where the government looks after themselves first. This will be explained in the next slide. Young Suk, who is mostly in charge of making decisions as a leader, acts selfishly in terms of survival. He is too conservative and claims acting a certain way is too dangerous, when at that point in the epidemic, nothing is too dangerous. This character actually mimicked a tragedy in South Korea when the captain of the sinking Sewol ferry abandoned her passengers and lied to the country that they survived. Her mishandling behavior has been investigated for over 7 years, and this scene here explains Young Suk's character and his lack of care for the passengers that he is instructed to take care of in case of an emergency, while mirroring a social and political issue that occurred in South Korea, resulting in over 300 lives of children being lost. While this is a very small detail, it is very much relevant to South Korea's society's expectations for young people. There is a pressure to marry young and find love as soon as possible because it stands as a social status. The sooner you marry, the better you are, and the better you appear to society. Train to Busan mimics this as a teenage boy basically sacrifices himself until the young girl is infected before him, knowing he will be infected immediately after by not leaving her side. The pressure to find love at a young age is accurately portrayed in this scene. Obviously, the thought of a zombie attack is extremely fictional and non-realistic. However, it stands for a social issue way deeper than that in not just South Korea, but globally, and unfortunately we have all been living in a pandemic for 2 years now here in the United States. In 2021, it seems like it could represent many things, such as a pandemic. However, it is an allegory for the crisis that is facing the planet.
아이고 부지역이 아니고요.
Cecilia Petretto's Attack of the Living Dead virus, the metaphor of contagious disease in zombie movies article, holds much relevance regarding the aftermath of COVID-19. She relates these feelings to the metaphors used in zombie films, such as Train to Busan's. She states, "This film suggests that humankind is responsible for such a calamity. We have been constantly reminded that overusing antibacterial cleaning products and overprescribing antibiotics are causing an evolution of microbial resistance. Whether the human race can actually maintain a population of 5 billion or more without a crash remains an open question unanswered. So what is the purpose of dieting and exercise when one virus will kill everybody on the planet anyway? Perhaps the doomsday scenario of a pandemic will motivate countries to be prepared and find vaccines to ward off such a calamity. Perhaps we should go to the extremes to protect ourselves." It's safe to say that Americans can relate to this suggestion and the opinion based on the ongoing pandemic that we are still in. And we often see that zombie movies are a metaphor for possible pandemics, and they show the reactions of the citizens just as they did throughout Train to Busan. In conclusion, Train to Busan holds a great amount of social commentary that is becoming more relevant to other audiences, such as the United States of America. The social statuses of each group of people are presented based on the researched experiences of them. We witness greed in the conductor, which represents a tragedy that happened on a form of transportation as well in South Korea. It represents specific behaviors in the workplace and ones of those who are in charge. In addition to this, the pressure to marry and find love at a young age in South Korea to once again fulfill a social status is present through two teenagers attempting to survive together. The film itself stands for relevant issues occurring in South Korea and, more importantly, around the world.